Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. This time it comes from the Stockton Police Department. This particular video comes from the Stockton Police Department. This occurred back in May of 2021. I'm going to play the entirety of the video and then I'll hit rewind and I'll go back and I'll talk about things that are going on in the video to kind of explain what's going on, and I'll talk about things that I think were done right and things that I think were done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Here is some information you're about to see and hear about a recent officer-involved shooting. As difficult as it may be to see and hear for many of us, we believe the release of this information is part of our principles of transparency. This is a multi-agency investigation, including local, county, and state law enforcement agencies. This was a very traumatic incident for everyone, so please be advised there may be some difficult video and audio.
What is your emergency?
Yeah, I think the people across the street need some help.
Like medical help or the police?
Like the police. Yeah, it's number.
And what do you see or what do you hear?
They're screaming, yelling. The windows are shaking. Is everything okay? I think the man is going crazy over there. He's been acting really strange the last couple of days. I just think.
Is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
He's black. But I don't really know what's going on, but I see the windows shaking, the lady screaming, yelling for help. I'm not sure. I think the kids may be at school, but it looks pretty serious over there.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a domestic disturbance at my next door neighbor's house.
Do you know their apartment number? Or their address? Okay, what is your address?
I see the wife leaving now, so I don't. Her shirt is ripped.
And there's a male and a female?
Huh?
There's a male and a female?
Yes, a male and a female and a child. It looks like the female's bleeding.
Please.
Hey, police.
Hello.
'58 shots fired, shots fired. Partner's down. Jimmy, you all right? 58 shots fired, my partner is down. Code 3 now.
2 Baker 58.
Shots fired, my partner is down. Jimmy! Jimmy, stay with me! Jimmy! Don't do it! Let the kid go! Don't do it! I want you... Let the kid go, man.
2 Baker 58.
I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you.
2 Baker 58.
Don't let the kid go, man.
2 Sam 70, no response from 2 Baker 58.
50, I need units code 3. He's strangling the kid and my partner is down. Let the kid go!
Units are not code 3.
Let him go! Let him go! Let go of the kid!
Are they on the correct side?
Hey, firm, we're on the corner. Hey, what?
All right, so go ahead and hit that rewind, go back into the video, skip the 911 call part, get to the actual video.
Please.
Bring that volume down. So domestic dispute calls are extremely dangerous for law enforcement to be involved in. This is where a lot of injuries have occurred, and unfortunately a lot of deaths have occurred. They are very volatile situations, the domestic disputes are. There's been cases where police have gone to a domestic dispute where a man has just beat the living shit out of a woman. I mean, just beat her to damn near death. And the police go to arrest the man, and then the woman flips her shit and goes after the police and starts assaulting them. The men, fearing they're going to go to jail or whatever, they attack the police. Even the women, they're very, very dangerous situations. You get people who are in such extreme emotional states that they do not have any reasonable mindset. All the powers of reasoning are gone when it comes to very emotional incidents that you find with domestic type of situations. So these are very, very dangerous things for police to be getting involved in. This first officer, he gets there, and from the video, from the second body cam video we see the second officer arriving pretty much as this first officer is being shot. But this first officer gets there and then makes the approach and then knocks on the door. I would have preferred to see two officers come to this door versus just one, but I don't know the full circumstances, of that day. Obviously, we just see what was mentioned in the slides and what we see in the video. It could be that that caller did state the woman was walking away, and it could have been that the dispatchers have stated on the radio that the female victim has left the house, and so he may have felt a little bit more comfortable just going up there all by himself because it's not going to be two people going at each other's throat and being all emotional, just dealing with one person. I don't know, but I would have preferred that second guy to be with them as they make that approach to that door. Or he might not have known that the woman had walked away. The dispatch never said it, and he could be in his mindset thinking that a woman is getting her ass beat and he needs to help her. Either way, I don't know which scenario that is, but I definitely would have liked to have seen that second officer up there, and I would have hoped that maybe that second officer being there would have been able to respond extremely quickly and put effective incapacitating rounds on target, and this officer be able to get pre-hospital care a lot faster than what he did. So this happens very quick. The guy opens the door and just kind of talks nonchalantly. No distress in his voice. He just says, "Hey, police," and then he opens fire. Let's see if I can pause this.
Hey, police.
Hello. All right. That's super quick. He just comes up. He says, he talks more dismissively, nonchalantly, to kind of bring probably the officer's guard down. Just talking all calm like, and then instantaneously that gun comes up. This is action beating reaction. You've heard me talk about action beats reaction before in other videos. This is it. So this bad guy gets to make the first move. He takes the first action. The officer doesn't even have time to be able to respond to this action being taken against him. It happens so freaking quick. Unfortunately, the officer, he does take rounds from the bad guy. How many I don't know. You did hear some more gunshots in the background. I think that may have been the responding officer firing rounds at the suspect. Not 100% sure, but the suspect did, of course, shoot the officer multiple times. We'll hit that replay.
Hello.
I think that might have been the responding officer when you heard those other follow-on shots. There's no information released about the officer's injuries, so it's anyone's guess what kind of injuries he had. You do get to hear him make noises after he falls to the ground, so he is alive after being shot, but and it's not exactly clear, when he does finally pass away during this incident. That's why I said I would have liked to have maybe seen that second officer be there at the door. He could have hopefully responded and put effective incapacitating rounds in target, and then be able to start maybe immediately rendering aid to his partner. It's hard to say. Like I said, there's no medical information for the officer as far as what injuries that occurred for him, but it's possible that he had injuries that if he had pre-hospital care given to him within the right amount of time, he could have survived. But that's just a possibility that I'm mentioning. I have no way of knowing if that's true or not, because this incident, after it occurs, it does go a little prolonged. Of course, the backup officer gets into the shootout with him. The guy goes back in the house, grabs his own kid, and then brings him outside, starts choking him, and there's a bit of a standoff. While this is occurring, that first officer is bleeding out. And I don't know if it was him bleeding out or what. I suspect that's probably what it is, because you do hear him, making noises when he falls down, so he's not instantaneously dead. But like I said, there's a possibility that he could have bled out as this whole thing was playing out. This is another talking point on medical gear. So it's great that some officers carry medical gear in their cars. And this is a scenario where obviously the cars are very close, and he could have, feasibly gotten out within a good amount of time. But it's always better to carry that medical gear on you. If you're going to be carrying the tools to induce trauma, you need to carry the tools to reduce trauma. And you can carry some very simple medical tools on you to deal with gunshot wounds, and they don't take up a whole lot of space, and they don't weigh that much at all. Moving forward, backup officer, he's pretty much rolling up on scene as the dude is opening the door saying, hey, police, and shooting. He fires multiple rounds.
Shot fired.
How many rounds he fires, I'm not exactly sure.
Jimmy, you all right? 58 shot.
So it does do a bit of a splice, so to speak. So I'll play this one more time. There's no timestamp in the video, but I'll play it again.
Jimmy, you all right? 58 shots fired, my partner.
So that right there, it was very quick. It was a very quick split in the video. I don't know how much time has elapsed since he fired that one round, and then it did the split, and it goes to the same scene, but it's obviously way different. It's a noticeable split. I'll do it one more time. I'll hit the 5 seconds. Watch real closely for the positioning of the red car right there in front of you.
58 shots.
All right, so there's a split right there. I don't know how much video was taken out. So the time frame here involved is really anyone's guess. I don't know what it is.
Shots fired, my partner is down. Code 3 now.
2 Baker 58.
Shots fired, my partner is down. Jimmy! Jimmy, stay with me! Jimmy! Don't do it. Let the kid go. Don't do it. I want you.
It's a horrible situation to see a teammate go down, and they're right there. You can see them, but you can't get to them. I don't know what this guy was experiencing in the moment, or he experienced afterwards, but it had to be, super tough to have to deal with seeing one of your, not just a coworker, but a friend, someone that you, and not just a friend, it's like this profession, someone that you obviously work with, but someone that you do things together, that you are each in charge of each other's safety in their life. You both hold each other's lives in your hands. You both fight together. You deal with all these traumatic things together. There's a kind of a bond, so to speak, in that kind of profession, where it's not like any other work environment, working in an office somewhere. You just don't have that same camaraderie. It's just way different. And so for him to have to stand there and see his buddy on the ground, knowing he's been shot and he's there, he can see him, but yet he can't get to him. He might as well be 100 miles away, because this dude has just come back out of the house and he has no idea if he's got the gun or not. And he has to, be mindful of tactics and everything, and take cover. because this guy has already shot at him, obviously, and he could start shooting him again. So he needs to stay behind cover and keep himself protected so that he does not become a victim himself. And the thoughts and the feelings that could have been running through his head at this moment, and definitely even afterwards, I hate it. I wish, obviously, this never would have happened. And the survivor's guilt is a real thing, and I hope this guy is able to get through that in life and it not mess with him too much. But the bad guy, he takes
Let the kid go, man.
his own kid
I don't want to kill
hostage.
you. I don't want to kill you.
The backup officer
Don't let the kid go, man.
uses some verbal judo, so to speak, trying to de-escalate the situation.
He's strangling the kid and my partner.
So he's got his own kid, his own blood, and he's strangling him right there in front of the officer. And there's no clear shot. I mean, it's not Hollywood. And I really think that movies and stuff like that have really done a big disservice in our society, because people will watch these movies and they will believe what they see. They will think that in this instance right here, the cop could have made a headshot or did a shoulder hit or some crazy bullshit, whatever. And the fact of the reality is, no, there's no way that he could have made any kind of shot like that and put that little kid at risk of catching a round in the face. So there's no shot that he could have taken from here. So he has to sit there and watch him strangle this kid and sit there and watch his partner potentially just laying there bleeding to death.
Partner is down. Let the kid go.
You don't see it very well, but a person in the neighborhood will come up out of camera view and knock this guy down. And you don't get to see it very well because of the way the camera's angled.
Let him go. Let go of the kid. Hey, Fern, we're on the corner.
But you can kind of see the other Samaritan coming up, and he's taking the guy down to the ground. Very risky move on the Samaritan's part. But you know what? He saw something was going on and that he needed to do something, and he did it. He took action. And it's a good thing that it worked out in his favor. He was able to get the element of surprise on this guy, take him down, free the kid so the kid didn't die, and this officer can get up there and do work. Hit that replay one more time. I can't seem to pause it just right in time. But he does fire to slide lock. He fires one round. The good Samaritan gets up, moves out of the way, and he just starts pumping around to the bad guy. There we go. Good pause. And he fires the slide lock. I hope that every fucking round that went in this son of a bitch fucking hurt. I hope he died a painful fucking death. Fuck this guy. My only gripe about this part right here is this officer didn't do a reload and empty a whole mag in this son of a bitch. So when he first got into this gunfight, yeah, I would have liked to have seen a reload being done right there. But in the moment, the guy's still there. We can't fully see what this officer got to see. Obviously, the dude went back in the house at some point to get the kid. Could he have done a magazine reload then? Potentially. But we don't know. I don't know. You don't see a whole lot from the camera. We don't get to see what his eyes saw. So it may not have been a good time for him to do a reload. But I would have liked to have seen a reload. That way, when it came to this moment, he could have put a whole mag in this son of a bitch. He fires rounds, he puts them down, and this is where the video ends. We don't get to see any more on what happens. I can only assume that he went to go render aid to his partner after the bad guy was put down, but don't know. They didn't include that part of the video in this press release. So this is a hard video to watch because you get to see a good person die, and it's not just a good person, but a protector of society, someone who goes out and puts their life on the line every single day to help people and keep people safe. And anytime people like that die, our society is diminished. It's never a good day when the good people die. Some of the learning points in this video. Again, domestics are extremely volatile, very dangerous, and this is probably one of the most dangerous things besides driving that law enforcement can do. They're very volatile situations, and they can turn violent very quickly, as we've seen. Could two of them at that door made a huge difference? I don't know. There's no way of knowing. But I would have liked to have seen a second officer there. I think it might have played a role in changing some things. I don't think this incident would have become so prolonged, and it could have potentially allowed that backing officer to immediately render aid to the fallen officer and maybe make a difference in him living or not. But that's just pure speculation on my part. Obviously, have no autopsy reports or anything like that indicating what his injuries were or anything. After the backing officer gets into the gunfight, we don't see a reload. I would have liked to have seen a reload, but then again, it may not have been the time for him to be able to do a reload because we don't get to see exactly what he got to see. And then the Good Samaritan comes up. The Good Samaritan made a calculated decision, made a calculated risk there. He obviously seemed to have the element of surprise there. It didn't obviously appear as though the bad guy had any inclination that someone was coming up behind him to attack him, and he was able to get the kid separated from the bad guy and allow the officer to come up and do his thing. So good on that guy. And I've talked before about people, the risks involved for people who interject themselves into things that just don't pertain to them. And you will have to be the one to make that decision on whether or not you're going to get involved in someone else's fight. I generally do not recommend people go get involved in other people's fights or any other incidents. But there's just some things where you're the right person at the right time at the right place, and no one else is doing anything, and you volunteer yourself to go do it. And you'll know best of all people. You will know best when it's time to go do something. I can't tell you. I can't give you a checklist of things of when's a good time to go get involved and when's a bad time to go get involved. That's a call you got to make on your own, but always, of course, be mindful of the fact that there is risk involved in getting yourself in other people's business and other fights that just do not pertain to you. But this guy, who knows? He may have weighed those risks, or he may not even thought of anything at all. He may have just acted. No idea. But he did take action, and it worked out in everyone's favor. And the little boy survived this. He didn't get choked to death. And the bad guy ended up getting what came to him. When the backing officer got up there, he fired one round into the guy. The the Good Samaritan got up out of the way, and then the officer dumped the rest of that mag into that bad guy, and he ended the fight. That, in my opinion, was a good shoot. Real good shoot. Of course, you may have some people say, well, he was unarmed. Well, you know what? From a technicality standpoint, sure. He didn't have a gun on him in that moment, but the officer had no idea if he did or not. Had no clue. He just got shot at by this guy. So he has to assume that this guy has a gun on him somewhere. And he had to act. So no issues there with the officer gunning this dude down on the ground the way he did. I think that was a perfect ending for that guy's life. Not much else to say about this. If you like what you see and hear, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson with Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.